My name is Sammy Dharia. In 1999, divine intervention happened to me. Ever since, I can't stop talking about or spreading about my testimony of what happened that day. It's been 23 years now, and I've been going through a lot. So I understand the need of the third temple in Jerusalem. Now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I spend my time with my father to help and bring and unite all the Jewish people together to Israel, to help bring order in this chaotic world and the next for humankind. My mission is to win over your heart. My hope is to construct this third temple so the whole world can see the God glory. I am the one the whole world is looking for. Shalom, praise the Lord, Gloria a Dios. As you know, I always come up with something new, and today's video, I want you to hear properly and tune with me all the way. Please, write me, ask me the question I always tell you, put thumbs up, talk to me, because I have the answer for you guys. Now, I am sure there are people are waiting for my video, and you know I always come up with something new, or I do not come. So last 2 weeks, past week, I've been praying a lot, and I've been asking God to give me something, and He reveals me so much stuff that I don't know how I can put it together. My problem is I cannot put it together because as soon as He reveals me one, I kind of think that this one is good and let me just talk about it, and then I forget about the other one. But as much as I remember, I'm going to talk about it. The first of all that I want to tell you that I always tell you who I am. I am your Moshiach. I am your king, and you're not gonna find nobody. And if anybody talks about they are Jesus, or if they talk about they are Moshiach, please ignore them, because they are not. They are not. I know there is a lot of things going on right now in YouTube about they are praising this young Yanuka guy, but I want you to understand that he is not the Ben David, or he is not even Ben Joseph. And even if he is a Ben Joseph, he don't have the way they explain that Ben Joseph will be a warrior. He is not the warrior. So he maybe could be some Kohen or some Levites family son and just reading the Torah. But other than that, he is nothing. So what I want to talk about today is to let you know that I am coming. I am your Moshiach. I am the Shiloh from the beginning. I was with him, and I am right now with you guys. I am the branch. I am the son of King David. I am the Daniel, and I am the ancient one. All those titles in the Old Testament is, you know, that Jesus never said. Jesus never said, I am the Daniel, or I am the son of King David, or a branch, or the anointed one. He never say himself all those words. Remember, and also in the Old Testament, first of all, they never talk about Jesus' resurrection. If you read from Genesis to Malachi, all the prophecies is been written, but you never heard one thing, that Jesus was resurrected on the third day. Even if you read Hosea 6:2 or 6:3, it's talking about in the end time. Because all the Hosea to Daniel to Zechariah to Malachi to Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, or Revelation chapter, they talk about the end time, not in the middle. So in the 6:2, 6:3, talking about the regain in 2 days and the third day we will be restored, which is exactly it says in the Revelation chapter 12, 11 or 12, 11, I guess, that two prophets will die and rose again on the third day. That day people will know exactly, and then people will get redemption also. That day people will know who they were. But in the meanwhile, in the Old Testament, it's never ever mentioned. Even people are talking about Zechariah chapter 9, that it mentioned about that he was pierced, and also in Isaiah chapter 52, 53, that he was pierced. If I read and if I explain to you, you will understand that it never mentioned about Jesus as a resurrection. It talks about the way it's mentioned in the New Testament, what happened to him. Of course, Jesus said that he is the resurrection and the life. He is the way, he is the truth and life. I mean, he got his title, I am. I am the way, the truth, and life. I am the Son of God. I am the light of the world. I am the bread of life. I am the good shepherd. I am the wisdom of God. I am the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the first and last. I am the beginning and the end. He has all those titles, but if you watch and see, he never said, I am the branch, I am the Shiloh, I am the ancient one, I am the Daniel, I am the anointed one. He never said all those things. Yes, also he said in the New Testament, me and my Father is one, I am he. If you know him, you know me. I am the one only come from above, and I am the only one can go up. I am the one can lay down my life and take it back. All those things he has. Now, in my case, I'm just going on a different direction to make you understand. In my case, I am the Shiloh. I am from the beginning also. I was exist before, because I am the Son of Man. I told you my testimony that Son of Man come and rest upon me in the end. He is the one from the beginning. And he is the one with the spirit of King David, because God had promised King David, one day from your own blood and flesh, from your own loin, he will bring somebody who will have a spirit of Lord upon him. So the thing is, let me read Zechariah chapter 9 first, and then we're going to go to Zechariah chapter 52, where in the Old Testament never it talk about that Jesus will die and rose again on third day, and that's why there is a problem that Jewish people do not understand. And also the scripture says that blessed are those have seen, have not seen and believe. But the one who haven't seen, they will see. They will see the Lord. It says also on the scriptures. So let's read the Zechariah chapter 9 first, and then I will explain to you the Isaiah. Okay, so Zechariah chapter, wait a minute, it was Zechariah 12, 10, 11, Zechariah chapter 12, I'm sorry. So, if you read the Zechariah chapter 12, and you may say, oh, you have to read in the context. So that's why I tell you, read the whole chapter of 12. God is talking about chapter 3, 4, 5, 6 in the Word, and the Word become a flesh. Like he said, he's talking to that, I'm going to do this, but then he said that I will be there and you will see me. So it's like he's explaining to us, and then he said, I am the one will be there. Now, how he's going to be there? If the God is a spirit, then God has to be rest upon somebody to do his work, and God's spirit will be on the Moshiach. So the Moshiach will be there, and he will be the wall of the Jerusalem. That's what it's talking about in this chapter 12. But then suddenly we see the 12:10 is talking like this. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitant of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. So what is telling us that when this Moshiach will come, when the Moshiach will come, you will get the redemption. The Spirit of Lord will be come upon you. The Spirit of grace, Spirit of truth, it will come upon you. He says, and I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitant of the Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplications. They will look on me, the one they have pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourn for an only child. Now, for whom he talking about? Him. Him is in the presence. When you will have the Moshiach over there in the presence in Jerusalem, when you all will get the redemption, you will see because God always talk about that I will bring you back. You will be the light of the world. You will the beacon of the light. You will be my people. The all nations will come and worship in Jerusalem. All those things, the promises that God have made, that I will bring you back from east and west and north and south. That's what he's talking about. And when you will see that the God made his promise to us and he fulfilled that day. He fulfilled, everybody will receive the Spirit. That day you will feel like, oh my God, why we didn't listen to him all these years? Why we were against him always? We go on a different direction. Even though he lead us, even though he said Moses, he said Joshua, he said King David, but we always ignore them and we are going on our way. So this is what he's talking about. They will mourn for him as one mourn for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieve for a firstborn son. On that day the weeping in Jerusalem will be great, like the weeping of the Hadad Rimmon in the plain of Megiddo. He's not talking about the way the rabbis are talking about there will be a war in the Megiddo, and then the Ben Joseph will die and everybody will be mourn for only one child. No, he's not talking about Ben Joseph over here. He's talking about when you will receive the Spirit of Lord upon you, you will have a joy and you will cry and you will feel like, oh my God, all these years our forefather never listened. This is what he's talking about over here. Now look what he says in the next one. The land will be mourned with each and every clan. But look, never talk about the resurrection. Even in this one, it didn't say that he was pierced, but he was never been resurrected. Anything. Now let's read 52 and 53 chapters, and then you will know what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to go through some questions to make you understand some of those titles they put. And let's read chapter 52. Let me read 52:13. 52:13. See, my servant will act wisely. Whom is talking about my servant? He will be raised and lifted up and highly exalted, just as there were many who were appalled at him. His appearance was so disfigured beyond that of any man, and his form marred beyond human likeness. So will he sprinkle many nations, and kings will shut their mouth because of him. For what they were not told they will see, and what they have not heard they will understand. Now listen, this is a very powerful thing. If you understand, your Rambam not tell you, or your rabbi is not going to tell you. Look what it says over here. This one, it says, and his form marred beyond the human likeness, so will he sprinkle many nations, and king will shut their mouth because of him. Now, this thing never happened. Did it ever happen? It never happened. But it will happen when he will pour the Spirit upon Judah and the Jerusalem and the Israel. Okay, he's talking about that time. That time, kings will shut their mouth because of him. Because Moshiach will be the king of the world. Remember, Spirit of the Lord will be rest upon him. And so that day, those kings, this never happened. Did ever happen in the history that one man comes and shut down all the kings' mouth? Never happened. For what they were not told they will see, and what they have not heard they will understand. This is what he's talking about, that what all the Rambam is telling them, that Moshiach is coming. This Moshiach will be the king of the world. He will bring the peace. People will listen to him. All the king will bow down to him. It's written. It's not that I am talking about, and listen, it's not easy for me when I say I am the Moshiach, I am the king of the world. You may think I'm a fool, but I'm not. I know who I am. And it's going to happen sooner or later, and it's very soon. My time is over. I've been 3.5 years, I've been preaching you and teaching you and telling you who I am, actually 22 years. But last 3.5 years, I was there 2019 in Jerusalem, and I told everybody who I am. Now let me finish this one so we can go into the another questions. So then we go into chapter 53. Now it's still talk about the same thing. Over here, remember, he's not talking about Jesus. Over here, we talking about somebody in the end time. Somebody will be in time. Who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of the dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty attract us to him. Nothing in his appearance that we should desire of him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrow and familiar with the suffering, like one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised, and we esteem him not. Surely he took up our infirmity and carried out our sorrow. Yet we consider him stricken by God, smitten by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgression. He was cursed for our iniquity. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wound we were healed. We all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Just wait, okay, I'm reading. Just wait. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was laid like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearer is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression, now listen very carefully. All these things, it feels like, yes, whatever happened in the past, let's see what he's talking about future, what will happen. By opposition, No, by oppression and judgment he was taken away, and who can speak of his descendant? For he was cut off from the land of the living, for the transgression of my people he was stricken. Okay, so he says he was cut off from his descendant. That means, let's see if it's talking about Jesus over here. Let's talk about Jesus over here. And he cut off means he don't have no descendant, he never got married, he don't have no children, no nothing. The other side, if you look in the Google, sometime you will hear, yes, Jesus was married and then he got kids and he died in India and in Kashmir, all those things. I don't know, you don't know, but the thing is, let's assume that he is the one over here. Now look what he says. He was assigned a grave with the wicked and with the rich in the death. He is in the grave. He was assigned as a grave, in the grave. Over here, it doesn't say he was in the grave and he came out from the grave or he resurrected or anything. Now look what he says. And with the rich in his death, though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth, yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life a guilt offering, let's put this one, that God put him that time as a guilt offering for Jesus. But look what the next sentence says. He will see his offspring and prolong his days. Let's if we talk about this is about the Jesus, then God promised Jesus that he will see his offspring and prolong his days. And the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand after the suffering of his soul. So this is what God is talking about over here. That he will bring him back. He will bring him back. He will suffer again. He will see the life of this world. He will suffer. His soul will suffer, and then he will see and he will ask, Father, listen, I do not want this life. I do not want this life. I'm tired of this life. This life is no good. And then what? Look the what God says. Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life a guilt offering, he will see his offspring and prolong his days. Means God will give him again a life where he will have a children and the children. And the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand, and God's hand will be upon him. God's hand will be upon him, and after the suffering of his soul, because everybody goes through this world suffering. Everybody goes through, some goes to little, some goes to more, some goes to extending a lot, like they cannot bear, and they just, some kill themselves and some fight with it. So he says, after the suffering of his soul, he will see the light. I have seen the light. I was suffering. I saw the light. I saw the light, and God gave me a life. He gave me a life more. And look at this. And be satisfied. I am satisfied now. I am satisfied. I don't need anything. I have everything I need. He is with me. He showed me his glory. I was up there. I have seen his glory. I'd rather be with him than anybody else. But God has given me the word that I'm going to finish. I'm going to accomplish. I am not going nowhere. I will fight. I am the warrior. And I will defeat those evil ones. They all will bow down. They all will be crushed. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We need to start building the temple. Now let me finish this one. He will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many. Remember, this again is talking about the end time. In the end time, the Moshiach will justify many. And he will bear their iniquity. Again, he will bear their iniquity. Come on, look at this. This is very simple English. If you understand, he said, he will bear their iniquities. Either he already took it in the past, and now again he will take it again. Or God chose him and God gave him a life again. Now look what he says. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great, which is his inheritance, which is in the Daniel chapter 7:13. God is talking about that he will receive his inheritance. In 2 Samuel 7:13, God promised King David that he will receive his inheritance even if he sins. Even if he sins, remember, I'm a sinner. In New Testament, they're talking about Jesus. He knew no sin becomes sinner. I am a sinner and become a sinner for everybody. More sinner. That's what I feel like. So over here, look what he says. And he will bear their iniquity. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great. Jesus never had a portion among the great. He never had. But he is talking about the future Moshiach will have the portion among the great, and he will divide the spoil with the strong. He's talking about with the devil, the bad people, because he poured out his life unto death. Now, over here, he's talking about two different persons. And was numbered with the transgressor, for he bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgression. Now remember, I told you about the mystery of the mystery. When the Son of Man rests upon me, and his spirit came upon me, and my spirit went up there. My spirit is right now up there, is doing. What is doing over here is poured out his life unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressor for the bore of the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressor. So my spirit is up there right now, intercession for the people. I hope you understand. There is no, it doesn't show right now in this Old Testament resurrection of Jesus. And Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, if you read the last chapter, yes, he came out from the tomb. Only few people see. If he was ascended, and if he would have showed all those Jewish people that he came for, if he just could have shown everybody that I can die and rose again, and he did rose again, if he did rose again, and if everybody seen that time, it's finished. Jewish people all would have believed that time that God have sent him. But they do not believe because that didn't happen, or God had a plan not to show them. Let's put that way. Remember, I always talk about scenario A or scenario B. Okay, maybe God had a plan not to show them that time because they still would not believe, or they didn't believe even though he came for them. I'm just putting scenario. Don't think what I'm saying. I'm just trying to explain everything over here. But all those things, when again will happen, the way it's written, then the whole world will understand that Torah is right. Even in Hosea chapter 6:2, whatever it says, the 2 days and the third day we will restore. Just like in the Revelation chapter is talking about that third day, 2 prophets will die and rose again, and that day after that, everything will happen. Now, remember the questions. There are so many questions people are asking over here, and see, a few of the questions is when the Moshiach will come, who's the Moshiach, if he's coming on donkey, or is he coming on the cloud? Now, you know, what I need to talk about these questions before any other questions. It just make me think. When this rabbi talk about how the Moshiach will come, is he coming in the cloud or is he coming in the donkey? Now, according to the New Testament, he already came in the donkey. And in the Old Testament, there is only few places talking about donkey, which is in Zechariah chapter I think so 6 or 9, that rejoice, O Zion, daughter of Zion, that the king is coming on donkey. And then there is a Matthew, Mark, Luke also have the same kind of scriptures. But let me tell you, Rabbi, he is not coming now. He's not coming. He's not going to come in the donkey, and he's not coming in the cloud. He's not. Because when does it say in the Old Testament your Moshiach will come in the cloud? It doesn't say that Moshiach will come in the cloud. Moshiach will be ordinary man born of the woman, and he will be a king. He will build the temple. That's all you all know. Then why are you talking about that he will come in the cloud? If he is going to come in the cloud, then the Moshiach that you are believing that he come and do all those things is all bogus. People not going to believe you. Because he's not coming in the cloud. Now, only one time in the whole Torah is talking about the Son of Man come in the cloud, and it's not coming for you guys. It's not coming for the Jew people that you all going to see in the cloud. No, he is coming to see the Ancient of Days. The one was born before. The one was God had promised to come back. And he's the only one see, which is the Daniel. He's the only one see the Son of Man came in the cloud. The Moshiach did came in the cloud, but not for you. It's only for him. So over there, he already came. He's sitting in front of you. I am the one you all looking for. First thing. Now about the donkey. The donkey, when I came 3.5 years ago, I was on the donkey. I was all over the Jerusalem. People have seen, people have took the picture. I was on the TV. And you can ask anybody, I was there on the donkey. So he already did came in the donkey. He already came in the donkey. But if God will tell me to do it again, for the humbleness, I will do it. I will do it again when you will choose me. And if you don't choose me, then he will, and he may give me the donkey to come in. And that will happen. When you don't choose me, then he don't have no choice. He do not have no choice. He already have choose me. He cannot back off. And I'm not going to let him back off because I am holding on to him. I am holding his robe. He cannot leave me. He has to fulfill what he started, what he has promised to build the temple. The third temple has to be built. Nobody can touch. It's only the spirit of King David or himself, the one going to build the temple. If the question is, so he's not coming in the donkey unless God wants me to do again. He already came. And he's not coming in the cloud, because if you believe that if he's coming in the cloud, then you are believing in the New Testament where it says the two prophets will die and rose again. Then their Messiah, Jesus, is coming down with all his angels. So either you believe he's coming in the cloud and then you believe in the Revelation chapter, which is in the end, or you want your Moshiach first, and the Moshiach, and then also you believe that Daniel chapter talk about the false Messiah will come and the desolations of the temple, abomination and the desolation of the temple, and the ancient one comes and judgment against him. You know all those things. It's written in the Daniel chapter. You can win, let me tell you, because I have the word. You can't win. I've been telling you who I am. It's time for you to get together. I don't know about that Sanhedrin or whatever. There is always synagogues of Satan is there. I told you, synagogues of Satan will block. They will try to block. They telling you the temple is about to do, temple is ready, the temple institute are taking the money, send the money. Listen, they cannot build the temple without me. They cannot put even one stone. Now, I told you, a lot of things are coming. Everywhere the war of rumor, remember the war of rumor, as says in the Matthew 24:15, so do in the Zechariah chapter 12, 13, 14, before the building of the temple, there won't be no wages, there won't be no war, there will be a war. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. So, get ready. I am coming. I am your Moshiach. If you are listening, any rabbis listening to me, listen and understand. I am not your fake Moshiach, not the one you think the dead rabbi will come back and he is your Messiah. No, he is not. He is not. And this Januka guy, he is not. They cannot talk like the way I talk, and I can tell when I say they are not, they are not. Finish. Matter is done. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time.